this is a good point to start. So welcome back everyone to our monthly community call, the first community call of 2023. Let's get it.
Yeah. Ian, do you want to go first, or should I open it up?
I
I guess
think
I'll
I
go.
think we
I guess I'll go.
yeah.
Sure. Um, yeah. So, I guess I'll sort of give an update on kind of what's been going on, maybe kind of operationally ground level at the DAO. Since the last community call, which was our 1 year anniversary call, we kicked off regular sub DAO meetings. So it's exciting. It's great that we're getting sort of more community participation in decision making, and which is it's been moving the needle as far as decentralization goes. So I'm really excited about that. Some notable contributions already coming out of the sub DAOs is runway diversification strategy that we worked on with with contributions from like several community members, which is great to hear. And there's still more work to do on decentralizing, especially on the sort of like the governance mechanics and code side. We're looking at implementing. My goal was to have done it by the end of like last year, by the end of 2022, but it's on my plate for Q1 2023 to get that in step with what's been going on with the sub DAO. So positive progress in that respect. So just some other stuff, like I guess I have the floor, so I mean maybe I can dive into some of the stuff going on in terms of the DAO interface, user interface and application itself. Some people might have noticed that there's been some small, I would say, quality of life improvements done, especially around the Nuo experience. Like it's a little bit more indicative now of what the status is, with respect to like voting power and Nuo locking and registering for the different vaults and things. So hopefully people enjoy those changes. I think it's a lot more easy now to tell what's going on. There's more changes coming to the DAO front end, so stay tuned. I would say all good things coming down the line. Currently, I think if it's not up already, there's an exciting proposal up we're going to be going up to incubate sector finance. So stay tuned for that. So we've got lots more stuff coming in the pipeline. So like that's kind of from my view of things, kind of it. I think Eden also has some stuff to add.
Yeah, I think there's a lot we could cover today. So it's probably too late to say Happy New Year, but Happy New Year to everybody. We've been super busy. Probably a good thing, a good item to kind of just point out amongst all our activity is the thesis that we put out, which sort of credit to the research that goes on at New Order. I'm sure many of you have read it. It's been like extremely well received and has got a lot of circulation, and it's something that kind of I think is a good reflection of the type of quality of thinking and prospects that we strive for at New Order. And so I think you're going to see more research outputs like that, these items are a reflection of like kind of what we're thinking or how we see the market, and obviously the sub DAOs are now picking up, and there's opportunities for people to kind of participate and add their views and influence into New Order. So I just wanted to kind of mention the thesis because I do think that this is sort of like the start of a new sort of chapter of New Order after spending 1 year sort of building a foundation. Now we're starting to actually, like, I think, establish ourselves more in the space, and the Thesis is a reflection of that. So Thesis, well done. And yeah, I think beyond that, we're going to get some updates today from Amber on Basecamp. Lots of, I think, exciting stuff happening there. Some really, really good projects. We have a number of other projects to touch on. But I think I'll start off just touching on Sector, which, as Merrick mentioned, the proposal will be coming up soon. And I think there's been a mention also of sunsetting IVX. And so there's a few questions around this. I thought I'd just give some background on it. So, I think when it comes right down to it, IVX was a project that was a bit slow moving, and a little bit arduous, in terms of working with some anons. While Sector is a larger team, and a more collaborative team, and frankly, what they're working on is kind of more on Thesis, not just for us, but also for the greater industry, especially if anybody read Pantera's latest sort of release on what they're thinking in terms of like sort of DeFi being more fundamentally driven, more sort of risk managed. Sector, has a risk engine that's sort of integrated into these vaults. That's definitely in line with our thinking. And then beyond that, there's a higher allocation for the DAO in proceeding with Sector versus IVX. So IVX, like, we wish them well. But, I think in terms of prioritization, Sector just makes a lot more sense. And so, we think the potential is higher, and just sort of execution is just going to be much more efficient. So that's a little color on Sector, which I think everybody should be super, super excited about. We're excited about it. So,
I think Eden, just add on to what you said. Even though we won't be proceeding with IVX, they will still be launching, right?
Exactly. Yeah. They'll some background here.
I think I have echo. Sorry.
Yeah, they're gonna launch, and like I said, we wish them well. We want the very best for every set of founders, whether they're New Order or not, right? So we're here to be sort of a good actor, and hopefully those guys are gonna go out and kill it. It's just not something that is gonna work out for the DAO in terms of execution. And sometimes that happens. It's incubation. It's messy. But I think lots of great stuff is in the pipeline. And maybe a good place to start is Che on Motherboard. So Che, if you want to give us some background on Motherboard, that'd be great.
Yeah, for sure. We'll be happy to. So if you guys read about Motherboard, we're trying to change the essence of infrastructure that DAO operators use. We're currently, there's a lot of I would say efficiency issues with DAO operators, where it's just the whole I would say tooling stack is in flux, right? Where you're using 10 different tools to accomplish very simple missions as an operator, which shouldn't be the case, right? Where the point of decentralization is not to make it more difficult to operate. It is to encourage participation from the greater community. And whenever founders are looking at launching a decentralized protocol, they shouldn't be looking at the spaces like, I'll have to take a couple of points back and have a difficult time bootstrapping this and operating this, considering there's just like no tooling. So Motherboard is tackling exactly that, where we are producing a platform for DAO operators as opposed to introducing another tool into the vast sea of different tools. We want to introduce a platform that actually aggregates a lot of the very essential tooling that is required for day-to-day operations. And we're doing that via a suite of our own introductions and our own tools that include, an accounting tool, a payment management tool, a chat that is encrypted using the private keys of user wallets, which should be actually the standard at this point. And then we're building various analytical tools and automated accounting for the contributor compensation that is all native. And then some of the integrations that we're having is going to be Discord. Down the line is going to be Twitter. And a little bit closer to the current implementation, Snapshot, which is actually going to be live with the first iteration. And then the whole point is to operate on an app basis, where the third parties are able to directly use the Motherboard SDK to build their own tooling and implement them into the platform, and create a single one-stop shop for all DAO operators to utilize and not have to jump through the various hoops of simply operating a decentralized group of people. So we're looking at launching the product next week. We're just finishing up some final touch points. The thing we already started some of the communication, and I think a lot of it is available in the proposal, but there's also going to be a lot more documentation available next week. And then obviously you guys will be able to play around with it and see if it's something that works for your organization, if you are in an organization, or if you would like to be a founder. We would be very happy to have you guys use that platform for bootstrapping your future and easing kind of the pathway to decentralized operations. So yeah, that's Motherboard, and I think we're all super excited about it because it's been in the works for a while now. And it's been, it's a project that requires very prudent UX and UI, considering that if we're introducing another tool into the stack, right, we're not aiding the issue. So we've been very hard at work at producing this. So I hope you guys will like it.
Cool. Yeah, we're really excited about Motherboard. We think there's the space is missing some much needed aggregated tooling for DAOs, and I think once Motherboard's released, I think everybody will see this is a really, really, I think, exceptional product. So so we're super excited about that. Che, do you want to talk about Y2K and what's going on with Y2K?
Yeah. I'll start with some protocol updates. Y2K is looking at a V2 deployment of their Earthquake vaults, where currently the vaults themselves are quite tedious in rolling them over. There's a fixed period of time where you have to deposit, and you would have to be very attentive to whenever those vaults go live, and it just makes the whole process a little bit difficult. So with V2, Y2K is introducing perpetual vaults, where it's kind of like a deposit and forget. You get all of the benefits of being on either side of the vault in perpetuity, which really helps UX, and that's what they've been hard at work at. And then also introducing new markets. The LSD narrative is very hot. So they're looking at WBDC, which actually already is a market, and then Steve is short. It's coming very soon, I think in the next couple of weeks, and you can expect to see more of the staked assets listed and more, I would say, quality of life implementations that would help just kind of the day-to-day use of the protocol. So that's kind of on the product itself. In terms of the token allocation that is in the New Order Treasury, the reason it's been taking a little bit of time is we were trying to make sure that we are as aligned as possible with Y2K. To ensure that we're not infringing on their progress and their success, right? As we have a direct relationship with our treasury to their success, right? And it's just the most prudent approach that we can take to ensure that anything that we're doing isn't directly affecting or negatively affecting their protocol. So we've been in long discussions about it, and I think we have finally come to a conclusion that we will be announcing on Monday. So stay tuned for that. That's going to be an announcement that will go out, and then of course we'll be happy to hear any of your thoughts and comments, and we will take it from there.
Awesome. Cool. Let's go to redacted, which is always exciting. Sammy, you want to give us the deets?
The inside spill. Maybe you want to just go on to the next project. I'm trying to fix the echo on this mic.
Okay, sure, no worries. So some suspense there. Merrick, flat white. You guys wanna update on H2O?
Yeah. Let me introduce Flat White. He's been working with the H2O team closely for the last couple months. I think he's injected a lot of DeFi know-how and energy into the project, quite frankly. So like it's great to have him aboard the Y2K. We have a lot of projects with like letter formats. Yeah, well, H2O. He's been doing a lot of heavy lifting there, and so I'll hand it off to him to just maybe talk about some of the developments.
Yep. Hey everyone, excited to be part of New Order and H2O. Sorry, I got issues with my internet, but hopefully you can all hear me. So, right, the latest updates we got for H2O is, to begin with, the Ocean Marketplace has recently introduced the Ocean model of a vote escrowed Ocean, where you can allocate Ocean to basically allocated to their data sets, which is works similarly as liquidity pools. And we've been trying to sort out our strategy regarding that. It was a slight pivot in our initial strategy. However, I think we are adapting it, and we are working closely with Ocean to basically improve the marketplace and to see how we can grow the ecosystem together. So that's the latest update from the Ocean side. We see a positive trend in TVL, and although we understand that we are still yet to find the ideal product market fit, so we are still building and still trying to find the perfect solution for H2O and the token itself, Poseidon. And regarding Poseidon, the governance token, so we did have an update to Poseidon emissions recently. I think it was published today, and the reason for it is we've did some homework, and we've realized that basically there is a better way to operate the emissions and the way to bootstrap the liquidity going forward. There will be I know there were a few questions regarding the second drop of Poseidon to New Order holders, and we got all that sorted soon. So the main reason for it is kind of a similar reason that has been highlighted by Che regarding Y2K token. So it is coming. It's just that we are working hard to make sure that we are aligned with the roadmap, with the strategy, as well as just a clear understanding of what's happening to Poseidon next. And long story short, we want to benefit all the Poseidon holders in the long term, as well as the H2O protocol. So stay tuned. It is coming soon. Also, we are looking into, I guess, some alpha for you guys. We are looking into expansion into other database ecosystems, and we are currently working hard on building in that ecosystem already. So stay tuned for updates with H2O. I think we are expecting a lot of good things for Q1 and Q2 of 2023. So stay tuned.
I think it's also worth highlighting or adding that there's definitely a lot of positive sentiment towards the whole data, ML, AI sort of realm right now. And I think Flat, you can maybe add more, but overall it's looking like I think now is actually the time for H2O to shine. I think maybe when we launched it was a bit early, but definitely with some of the interest that people have towards these types of tokens, it's definitely a position for you guys to strive.
Yep, definitely agreed. I think with the narrative regarding AI, and AI is generated by data, I think the the narrative for data-backed stable assets is there. As highlighted, if you go to our Twitter, check Medium, we are taking a small step back with the H2O stable asset itself. However, Poseidon and the whole H2O protocol is evolving in the data space and data-based ecosystems. Therefore, totally agreed with Sami, and I think we are launching and we are pivoting and finding our ideal product market fit in the perfect time.
Great. And good work, Flat White. I think like H2O is definitely, I think, moving in a direction where the DeFi direction where we'll be able to sort of generate a lot more value with it over time. So good stuff. Sami, how's your mic now?
It's good, right? Can you just say something?
Yeah, sounds good.
Is there echo?
Nope.
Okay. Yeah, on the redacted side, we've been just like I think like all the other projects working away, trying to get new stuff out there. We recently hit an all-time high in hidden hand volume, which is really good considering I think like the market is looking a bit better, some sort of relief here, but to say the word all-time high sounds crazy still. But it's good that hidden hands picking up all-time high volume. The Pyrex product just passed 10 million TVL for the first time, which is also really impressive, and hats off to everyone working on the Pyrex project. Next week we have, or not next week, I guess like in a few days now, we have PXGMX and PXGLP launching on both, well, starting on Arbitrum and then Avalanche coming right after that. So, just like the PXCVX project and the success that found, we hope like the GMX and GLP one has some good, which is actually also the first endeavor, the first new order endeavor into the GMX GLP space too. So that should be pretty exciting and pretty fun. I think, eventually we'll see things with Sector and a couple others, but this one should be good fun. And yeah, just trying to always hit new milestones, which we're doing. Growth for the year, like the year has definitely started off good, and hope we can maintain these metrics, as well as try and create some new metrics with the stablecoin coming out later this year.
Awesome. Thanks, Sami. Let's go to Chris and Frogs, and what's shaking with the Frogs sub-DAO, now a sub-DAO of New Order.
Excuse me. Hey, can you guys hear me?
Yeah.
Okay, terrific. Usually have mic problems, so hopefully it works this time. If anybody's new in the audience, Frogs is kind of it's like a media brand within New Order. We do research and other writing on DeFi and other crypto topics. So we've got we have a very good team of core contributors. Frogs is kind of a well-oiled machine these days. We put out work that we're very proud of. 2023, we're mostly focused on growth. We want more money coming in, and fortunately, this is a question that's easy to answer for us. All we need to do is expand our reach. The bigger the reach we have, the more audience we have, the more we can get paid for the work that we do. So we have a couple strategies going forward for how we're going to expand that. First and foremost, as Eden kind of hinted at, we've transitioned to being a sub-DAO. The idea being that if we have a more active and engaged and larger community of people kind of participating in Frogs, then that will spur the growth of an audience following what we're doing. So on that front, we have started doing sub-DAO calls every 2 weeks, the first and third Thursday of every month. We've established what we're referring to as the Frogs Council. We kind of have our core group of people who are maybe directly involved in content ideation and the direction of what we're doing. And then we're looking for ways for the broader audience and community to be more involved. So what we're doing on that front is we're starting to do content bounties, where we're going to solicit ideas for content publicly. Next week, I think we're going to announce a bounty for the best stable farming strategy that anybody can put forward. The winner will get some amount of stables from the treasury, and we'll get some content out of it and a lot of engagement from the community. We're going to see how far we can go with that. Other than that, I feel like this is a good opportunity to draw attention to somebody in the audience, because at one of our sub-DAO calls last week, Cortina showed up and had the wonderful idea for Frogs Pro, which is our kind of our like more buttoned up formal research wing. Cortina suggested that we start accepting project tokens instead of stables for that. So I'm starting to do business development to get more clients for Frogs Pro for our quarterly reports. That was a wonderful idea, and I just wanted to give him some credit for that. I think probably the final point that I can make on Frogs is that we're just pursuing a much more aggressive content strategy. Anybody who's been following us along on Twitter, I think we posted every day for the past 10 business days or so. So we got a lot coming in the future, and we're all very optimistic about where Frogs is going.
Yeah, and I guess it's always good to kind of maybe just simplify or define Frogs for everybody, which, we kind of see it as, I think Sammy put it this way, the Bleacher Report for crypto Twitter, right? So there's obviously a lot of smart people out there. We wanted to create an opportunity for those people to sort of provide analysis. And I think over time, it could be a really interesting platform, right? So wisdom of the crowd, not to be underestimated.
Yeah, and I think also another thing with Frogs is that it's been a good feed, I think, for the thing with in Incubator, and maybe you can share my light on it too, Eden, is that it's always a revolving door, right? You guys have seen faces here that were maybe working on some New Order projects, whether it was maybe they were helping out with the DAO itself, or they were helping out with Redacted, Y2K, H2O, whatever the case is, and then they go on to lead their own projects, right? So Frogs is super important to our strategy because an incubator is always a revolving door. We haven't seen anyone from Frogs join the core team yet, but in the work server, there's a lot of faces there that were contributing to Frogs that are now helping out as contributors almost to the DAO. So hopefully this year we can see some researchers evolve from Frogs to the New Order core team, right?
Yeah, that's exactly right. I think one of the big jobs as an incubator is to constantly be attracting the very smartest people we possibly can, right? And so you don't necessarily need to be a PhD, right? You could just be somebody that's a power user, a degen, and we want to give everybody that opportunity to kind of display their chops, right? So we want to be this sort of nexus of intelligence, and so Frogs we think is an important way of doing that. So yeah, good point, Sammy. Similarly, we have boot camp coming up. And might be good for, I suppose, Amber or Merrick to just touch on that, because that's also along the lines of attracting I think we want to be giving to the world and to the community, but likewise, we want to create this inbound effect of smart people. So, excuse me, if somebody wants to talk about boot camp a little bit, that'd be great.
I guess Amber. How about I begin? Amber can fill in additional details. Yeah. So the bootcamp starts tomorrow. Registration, I think, closed about 2 days back. I think we've had over 100 high quality applicants to the bootcamp. So I think they're sort of finalizing the groups and sending out acceptance emails. So, folks, very diverse group, applying for it. Some people are like the type of veterans that Eden mentioned. Also new people to the space, people that are getting, builders, very competent, intelligent people, getting laid off from FANG, companies, and looking to get their start in Web3. So I'm super excited to get the boot camp rolling. It starts actually tomorrow. It's going to run for the next 6 weekends, and sort of attendees are going to learn, about a variety of topics from learning about DAOs to learning about DeFi mechanisms to token design to we're also going to be having technical sessions where we're going to cover basics of Solidity, intro Solidity, things like token engineering modeling using Python and maybe tools like CAD. So wide variety of topics that are going to basically give the bootcamp attendees sort of like a almost like a crash course in the different aspects to launching a successful project. So people coming out of the bootcamp will either be prepared to start working on their own projects or contribute to existing projects. Right. So, I'm super excited to get that rolling, and, fantastic interest from the community.
Yeah.
So I kind of rambled on a bit. Like, Amber, did you have any more to add? I just saw you didn't go off mute, so I started talking.
No, I think you covered most of it. We received 120 applications. I just want to give a shout out to some of our community members who helped me, with candidate screening. Because I see some of you in the audience too, like Condor, Homo Cosmico. So yeah, thank you. It was very helpful.
Great. Yeah. I mean, these are the type of things where we want to be sort of like boots on the ground, sort of ground level, working with again, like just like super talented, inquisitive people. So bootcamp, looking forward to seeing kind of how that evolves and who we meet out of there. So Amber, why don't you give an update on Basecamp and some of the I think there's some really great projects to maybe highlight. Give us an update there.
Yeah, absolutely happy to give an update. So we are wrapping up Basecamp 2 with 7 teams graduating or graduated last week. I think all the teams have made great progress during the last 3 months of program. Maybe I can give you a little bit update on where they are now. So first team is Smiley. They're building a collection of volatility-based vaults, starting from the impermanent game product where the users can store the LP tokens. They're very close to building out a product, and right now talking to multiple auditors, like trying to find the best one. They've decided to launch an option, and really, I think this ecosystem has been very supportive. They did a AMA with Smiley and Risk Finance last week, just talk about different types of crypto derivatives, what are some current challenges and solutions, as well as just like introducing Smiley to their community. Smiley also just released their white paper to public. If you're interested, I can link in this channel. So really, everything's going well for this team. They have just started talking to investors, and I heard they already have 250,000 commitments. And another team is 0x KYC. That's a zero knowledge-based, privacy-preserving KYC. So instead of storing the identity information on chain, they store the ZK proofs. A lot of application for this tech, especially with more regulation coming in. So they're working on a number of things, but most importantly is to find the right POC. They're talking to different potential partners, such as crypto wallets, to integrate their Soulbound token. They haven't officially, start fundraising yet, but again, already have some commitments pending a lead. And the next one is Viper Protocol. That's doing composable user-generated derivative vaults. They're live on mainnet Solana. Right now, they're building out the EVM compatible version for multi-chain deployment. Their estimated timeline is to finish within 2 months. And they recently launched a binary option votes of Bunk token. That's a meme token on Solana, and it was really well received. I heard, the volume reached 1 billion of Bunk, and it also generated a few thousands of revenue in just 2 days. I think they're very smart founders, very creative approach to handle some ecosystem challenges. And they also will start focus on fundraising soon too. Another one I want to highlight is Kavia. So Kavia is doing non-floor NFT MM. The team is amazing, PhD in AI and robotics and Oxford. And their round is already oversubscribed. But they did reserve some allocation for people with big NFT collections or people who have deep connections to NFT community. And the next one is Caston. So they're doing, it's more so like CDFI. They're doing SME lending, partnering with fintech companies of real world assets. And they're, focusing on closing partnership with fintech companies to onboard more assets. Right now, they're looking at about 5 million borrowing demand, and focusing on looking for liquidity providers. I think those are some highlights. I think overall a lot to look forward to in the next few months. For example, Identify from our Basecamp 1. They're now named Blue. They just came out of Stealth and had an exclusive with CoinDesk. Kima has been integrating apps to test out the cross-chain liquidity function. They target to kick off the public beta in 1 month's time. And also, Sumeria, they upload a contract to mainnet and will be publicly available soon. So for us, this week onwards, the focus will be, support teams on fundraising or any other things we can be helpful for the matter. And at the same time, we'll also be launching Basecamp 3 in Q2, most likely. So for the next Basecamp, we've been rethinking about our thesis and want to invest in more teams that have more AI machine learning capability, find the right intersection between AI and DeFi. ZK is also a very, promising technology that already found its footing in blockchain. So that will be part of our focus or thesis as well. A lot of updates. I'll wrap up here. Really excited about all those development.
Awesome. Cool. So I think we have covered anything, Merrick. I think there's a lot going on, ranging from bootcamp to obviously Basecamp and our incubator projects and some of the research outputs.
If there's anything I can add. I think Content actually had some points he wants to kind of close with. I think the only other thing I forgot about the boot camp. Actually, I can't believe I forgot about the boot camp because it's I got to start preparing for the show starting tomorrow. But you brought that up, so I think Content might have some small points for you.
Yeah. So sorry. I think. Okay. So yeah, I think this is probably a good spot to close out. If anyone else has anything, feel free to just interrupt me. I just wanted to say quickly about the work server. So the work server had a token gate initially, but that has since been removed. So now anyone can join and just react to role, and you'll get the contributor role. So I invite all of our community members to come join and contribute. It would be great to see more familiar faces. Also keep an eye out for the there's going to be an announcements channel in the work server that's going to be connected, in the main server that's going to be connected to the work server. So you'll be more up to date on what's happening in the work server. And yeah, I really do hope to see more of our community members show out to contribute.
Okay, sounds good. So I think we could probably leave it at that. Thanks, everybody. We'll keep working away here to build up the DAO and build up the treasury. Thanks, everybody.
Thanks, everyone.
Thank you, everyone. Have a nice weekend.
Thanks, everyone.